Hey there, have you ever seen those videos of people using the EMF detector to find ghosts? Not gonna lie though, we've all been lied to about the EMF. It really is not effective when looking for ghosts in some abandoned homes with no electricity. But I can tell you for a fact that if you put the EMF detector near any power box, it will light up until the max. So, based on that conclusion, the ghosts are actually being kept inside a power box to generate electricity. The mainstream academia has lied to all of us when this is how they actually use ghosts to generate electricity. Think about it. The reason why abandoned buildings have ghosts is because they had escaped from the power box. Because their spectral spirits are their power and the main source of energy. So it gets sapped away in any working building. Seriously, the fact that we are not taught this is so disturbing. It's one of those things that the governments are hiding from us. If you don't believe what I say, you're blind. Seriously, you're just so brainwashed at this point. That, my friend, is what we call post-truth. It is basically a term for when information that appeals to emotion carries more impact than the actual fact itself. I will say that the current social media landscape is plagued with this kind of thing. You can have users expressing their own discontent about certain situation, yet they do it in a way where they twist their opinion and turn it into factual statement. And they would even make their statement in a provocative manner to gain more engagement. I have mentioned in my previous video where the news likes to instill the sense of fear inside the readers so that they feel obligated to keep reading and spread the news among their peers without even thinking twice whether the information is factual or not. I would say that rage baiting is probably the most effective post-truth tactics when it comes to posting about your own opinions toward a certain issue. And unfortunately, even I am not immune to rage bait. I would just scroll through social media and then stumble upon a post that has the worst opinion ever. Like, I get it, people can have their own opinion, but when you just convince other people into thinking that your hot take opinion is fact, then it's just a bad opinion. This is why I keep reminding myself that if there are any posts and articles on the internet that makes me upset, I just think that it's a rage bait post. And this is also why it's getting harder to differentiate between opinion and truth because it has become a blurry line. Now, of course, I'm not talking about how people would twist the things that have already been an objective truth, like, grass is green, sky is blue, water is H2O, there are 365 days a year. I wasn't talking about that kind of truth, although there are people who believe that the earth is flat, but we'll get to them later. What I am talking about is the truth that not everyone has understood yet. These are the ones that have been bastardized by a bunch of opinions and are being framed as facts. We can see this with how the media reports on the hantavirus. Yes, we are going back to that. And how the media frames the virus to be a pandemic, even though scientists claims otherwise. Yet most news outlets kept expressing their own opinion and claiming that the hantavirus will become the next pandemic, which in turn will instill fear and worry into the readers. Not to mention that there are people who already have a pre-existing belief that hantavirus will become the next pandemic because they've already seen COVID, and thus seeing the media outlet sharing the same sentiment will just reinforce their pre-existing belief, which in turn becomes what they see as facts. And the more people keep repeating this exact statement, the exact message, eventually it will become an echo chamber where you have a community of people believing that hantavirus is going to be a pandemic because they have already gone through COVID. Therefore, that becomes their frame of reference, which then influence how they think what the hantavirus is going to be. We call this pattern recognition, and it is a blessing and a curse at the same time. And so you must be asking yourself, why do professional news organizations resort to this kind of statement where it will just instill an unnecessary amount of fear and anger into the people who read the news? The answer is simple: money. We live in a society where everything needs to be a spectacle, and we seek more of those spectacles by hoarding to the next big thing that's happening around the world. Forget the facts, those are boring, and my brain couldn't handle reading a whole paragraph of scientific papers explaining how the pyramids were built. I want my TikTok AI slop explaining to me in less than 30 seconds with a voice that sounds like they have to do a 50 slides presentation in under 1 minute about how ancient humans used aliens and giants to build the pyramids while spamming hundreds of sound effects every second and using huge bright subtitles that does the pop-up effects on every word to keep my attention. And only then will I pay attention and believe that these are actually the facts. Our brains are truly shrinking. And basically, that sums up what post-truth is, and how it has been plaguing the internet currently. It is honestly sad to see how people would resort to doing this kind of stuff in order to farm engagement and make profit out of it. So yeah, that's all I have to say. See you on the next one.